This is the Ford Edge ST, and if you know a thing or two about the American manufacturer, you'd know that the ST badge is a very special one. Being the first SUV to be built by Ford Performance, this Edge ST has been put together by the same team who've manufactured cars such as the Focus ST, the Mustang Shelby GT350, the F-150 Raptor, and the legendary Ford GT. So without further ado, let's jump right in and see if this Edge ST is worth the hype. From a styling perspective, it's 2 thumbs up. The Edge ST looks the part of a performance SUV and differentiates itself from the standard car in a few distinct ways. For starters, it gets a black mesh upper and lower grille as opposed to a chrome grille on the standard car. Secondly, it gets these beautiful 21-inch gloss black alloy wheels that make it look way sportier than the standard car. Overall, it's a handsome package, and that's something we can unanimously agree on. On the inside, Ford has continued to differentiate the ST from the standard car. This being the performance-oriented model, gets heavily bolstered sports seats that are covered in a combination of leather and suede. With leather restricted to the outer portions of the seat, the suede keeps you in place and prevents you from sliding around when driving quickly. To make its sporting pretensions even clearer, the ST receives stitched leather on the door panels, stitched leather on the steering wheel, 4 carbon fiber on the dashboard, and aluminium on the accelerator and brake pedals, which are all great additions, but I just wish Ford had paid a little more attention to the quality and reduced the amount of exposed, hard plastic. Since the Edge ST is catered to younger audiences, it comes with many features. Some good ones and some not so good ones. But let's start with the good ones. Firstly, there's an 8-inch infotainment screen. It works well, comes with Ford's Sync 3 software, built-in navigation, Apple CarPlay and Android connectivity too. Secondly, many cars nowadays come equipped with automated parallel and perpendicular parking systems, but very few are as good as the one used by Ford. It makes you look like a parking champ, and since it has Park Exit Assist, it makes backing out of a difficult parking space just as easy as it was going in. Thirdly, it's got a cool ambient lighting system that lights up various parts of the cabin, including the cup holders. It's got a brilliant Bang & Olufsen audio system and a huge panoramic roof that gives the impression of a much more spacious cabin. But now it's time to talk about the not so good features. You see, there are some cars that come fitted with both standard cruise control and adaptive cruise control, and the Edge ST is one of them. But in most other cars that come fitted with both systems, you simply long press the cruise control button and you can toggle between using standard cruise control or adaptive cruise control, but not in the Edge. In the Edge, it's hidden deep inside menus and further sub-menus that almost make it impossible to find. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if most Edge owners didn't know this feature ever existed. While we're on the topic of hiding controls, the Edge gets plenty of buttons to manage the climate control system. Fan speed, temperature, recirculation, demister, everything gets its own dedicated button on the dashboard. Except if you want to change the direction of the air from your face to your feet or vice versa, that is hidden in a menu on the screen. Why? The second row is extremely spacious with lots and lots of legroom, but headroom isn't that great. The seats do recline, there's rear AC vents and power outlets too, but because they are on the stiffer side, you're likely to hear a lot of "Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" from passengers of all ages. Being a performance SUV, you're probably expecting a big V8 under the hood, kind of like what you'd find in a Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT or a Range Rover Sport SVR. But instead, the Edge ST is fitted with a 2.7-litre twin-turbocharged V6. Horsepower stands at 335 and torque measures in at 515 Newton meters. While the numbers sound impressive, they really aren't all that. And let me tell you why. For those of you who are well acquainted with Ford and its models, you'll probably remember the Edge Sport that was on sale until last year. It never claimed to be a performance SUV, it was just a fast Edge. What Ford has done is that they've taken that very car, used the same engine, added 20 horsepower and stuck an ST badge onto it. And that's kind of the root cause of the problem. You see, performance SUVs have to have a few things, such as a good exhaust note, which this car doesn't, dynamic handling, which this car doesn't, an engaging driving experience, which this car doesn't. And it just makes you question how much of a performance SUV the Edge ST really is. The 8-speed automatic transmission that the Edge ST is fitted with is far from perfect. Despite paddle shifters behind the steering wheel, it never lets you take full manual control, and when you leave it to do the work for itself, it's extremely jerky, hopping from one gear to another, especially at low speeds. Put your foot down and the Edge ST will move fast, but in the process, it will pump in horrendous engine sounds through the speakers. Also, I'm not sure if they've tried imitating wind noise, but every time you get past 3,500 RPM, there's a distinct sizzling sound that comes out through the speakers, and let's just say it isn't very comforting. When news of the Edge ST first surfaced, there was plenty of excitement from enthusiasts from across the globe. But the more I think about it, I feel Ford's done a huge mistake by putting the ST badge on the Edge. Because, let's be honest, it's not a performance SUV. It's a lazy attempt at a performance SUV because it's a rebadged Edge Sport, but it's not a performance SUV. So at 179,500 dirhams, what do you feel? Is it worth the money? Let us know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.